all my promoter homies would always say, man, you know, we gotta bring some, we gotta bring some, what they call them,
Whoa, so Busta Rhymes is steaming mad right now, reportedly threatening 50 Cent over some jaw-dropping footage allegedly included in 50's upcoming Diddy documentary. For years, we've known that 50's been hoarding receipts on Diddy's wild FO parties, but what's got Busta so rattled? Sources claim there's video of him fully entangled with Diddy, and that's just the start of it. Months ago, Busta's ex-bodyguard, Big Homie CC, dropped bombshell allegations that Busta had a years-long penchant for the club scene's male elite, with industry insiders supposedly in on the open secret. According to Big Homie CC, promoters regularly lined up young men to keep Busta entertained in VIP lounges. Now, the buzz is that 50 Cent might have video evidence to prove it. Insiders are saying the footage reveals a wild party scene, showing Busta and Diddy in what's described as a full-blown extravaganza, with several male ex-workers allegedly hired by Diddy himself. And wait, there's more. Multiple men have reportedly come forward, accusing Busta of making inappropriate advances. They allege that whenever they crossed paths with him, he was always pressing them to party Diddy style. This whole situation seems to be heating up fast, and the claims are painting a picture that's far from flattering for Busta Rhymes. And let's be real. Busta's threats are just fueling the fire. If 50 Cent really is producing this Netflix documentary, no amount of posturing will stop him. In fact, Busta might have just guaranteed himself a bigger spotlight in the film. So what's the real story here? Why is Busta suddenly scrambling, and what's 50 sitting on that's got him this rattled? With the heat surrounding Busta Rhymes, you know 50 isn't going to let it slide quietly. Case in point, before they even shared the stage at the Humor and Harmony Comedy Fest, 50 couldn't resist poking fun. He jokingly speculated that Busta might show up in that iconic over-the-top yellow outfit from the 1999 MTV VMAs. To stir the pot, he posted a throwback pic of Busta in the bold yellow look and quipped, "Busta, I don't care who made that outfit. You gotta bring something fly to Shreveport, LOL." Not one to back down, Busta clapped back with an AI-generated photo of 50 captioned, "The blessings don't stop, so we ain't never gonna stop. I thought it was Father's Day, 50 Cent." The back and forth is entertaining, sure, but it also raises the question, what's really driving all this tension? It's clear there's more going on behind the scenes than just old outfits and online jabs. And here you are, looking like this. Don't let me find out this is how you prep your look for Shreveport. Sure, back then it might have seemed like 50 and Busta were just trolling each other, but now, according to sources, 50 was serious, and there's rumored to be some jaw-dropping footage of Busta with Diddy. Before we dive into that, though, let's revisit those whispers about what's been happening in Busta's VIP section. If you're not caught up, here's the gist. Busta's former bodyguard, Big Homie CC, recently spoke out in an interview with The Art of Dialogue. He didn't hold back calling Busta a super zest monster and claiming that for years, Busta's behavior around young men has raised eyebrows. According to Big Homie CC, this isn't some closely guarded secret. It's long been an industry open secret. Club promoters allegedly knew what to expect anytime Busta was booked for a party. It's said they would always make sure his VIP area was stocked with, well, let's just call it entertainment. Big Homie spilled some serious tea about a club night that involved actor-model Don Benjamin and one of Don's friends, who happened to be a gay man. As Big Homie tells it, the moment Busta Rhymes set eyes on the guy, it was game on. He said Busta wasted no time pulling the man into his VIP section and refusing to let him leave. Busta, Big Homie claims, stayed glued to this man the entire night, lavishing him with attention. And apparently, this wasn't a one-off situation. Big Homie alleged that club promoters were fully aware of Busta's VIP routine. According to him, it was practically standard operating procedure. When Busta arrived, they'd gather the most striking men to fill his section. Once Busta locked onto someone, that person wasn't going anywhere. On that particular night, Big Homie said Busta couldn't stop complimenting the guy, calling him cute repeatedly, and making sure he stayed close. And once he got him into VIP, that was it. The man wasn't leaving. What's more, Big Homie insists that within industry circles, Busta's preferences weren't exactly a secret. The claims paint a picture of a well-known pattern that's allegedly been an open secret for some time. It's not just promoters and club insiders who've been talking. A few other names in the industry are now whispering that this might be the moment where Busta's alleged double life finally comes to light. While no one has outright confirmed the footage yet, multiple sources have claimed that 50 Cent's camp is in possession of more than just hearsay. Supposedly, these videos go beyond a single night out. They're said to show Busta in numerous situations that back up the allegations. Some insiders are even hinting that these clips might include scenes from high-profile industry parties, where Busta was reportedly seen cozying up to certain individuals far from the public eye. The buzz is that these videos could be part of a wider expose that sheds light on the private dealings of not just Busta, but other big names as well. If that's true, it might explain why Busta's recent behavior has been so erratic and why he's allegedly issuing threats. What's clear now is that this isn't just about old club stories anymore. There's a growing sense that something much bigger is on the horizon. As the speculation mounts, fans and industry players alike are left wondering just how deep this rabbit hole goes. And while 50 Cent hasn't yet released the supposed footage, his track record for dropping bombshells has everyone on edge. Industry sources are already speculating that he's timing the release to coincide with the launch of his Diddy documentary, ensuring maximum impact. The question is, will this be just another feud in hip-hop's long history of rivalries, or something more? Meanwhile, Busta's public image is taking hit after hit. Fans on social media have started digging through old interviews, music videos, and behind-the-scenes footage, looking for anything that might back up these new claims. Even those who once defended him are now having second thoughts. The court of public opinion, as always, is quick to weigh in, and right now, it's not looking good for Busta. At the same time, some insiders are warning against jumping to conclusions. They argue that without the alleged footage in the public domain, it's still just hearsay. Still, the rumors alone have done considerable damage, leaving Busta's team scrambling to control the narrative. But with 50 Cent at the helm of this documentary, it seems the truth, whatever it may be, will come out sooner rather than later. For years, Big Homie has kept quiet about certain things, until now. When asked why no one had publicly called out Busta before, he said it was simple. Everyone wanted to stay in the VIP section. But then, Big Homie shared another shocking claim. Allegations about Busta's history of putting his hands on women. And according to him, there might be a deeper issue at play. Big Homie suggested that, like some DL men, Busta could be harboring resentment toward women. This allegation adds another layer of complexity to the accusations, sparking questions about what's really been happening behind closed doors. If you think it's just one bodyguard stirring the pot for attention, think again. A growing list of people has come forward with their own stories about Busta. Back in 2020, social media personality Trip Ali took to YouTube, claiming that Busta tried to pick him up in NYC on Halloween night. The revelations keep piling up, and it seems this story is far from over. Trip said it all started when Busta personally invited him to VIP. At first, he thought it was just a typical club night, but that's when things took a turn he didn't see coming. According to Trip, a heated argument broke out with his friend, who wasn't on board with the idea of going to Busta's party. The tension escalated so much that it became a full-blown fight. Shaken up and left stranded in the middle of NYC after his friend stormed off, Trip ended up ditching the whole club plan. In hindsight, that might have been a blessing in disguise. Who knows what might have gone down if he'd actually made it to VIP. Fast forward to 2021, and the rumors were swirling once more. Word on the street was that Busta was back out and about, allegedly trying to pick up men again. The chatter got even messier when paparazzi reportedly caught him leaving a gay pride event with a trans woman, and it doesn't stop there. Just recently, Orlando Brown lit up the internet with jaw-dropping claims about his escapades with several industry figures. Among the names he dropped were Diddy, Busta, and others. While many have dismissed Orlando's wild rants, some folks are noticing a shift in his tone. In his more recent interviews, where he appears more clear-headed, his stories start to sound a lot more believable. Now, rumors of Busta possibly being on the DL are one thing, but what really needs attention is his long history of alleged aggressive behavior. Just like Diddy, Busta's been accused of putting his hands on people over the smallest disagreements. The trouble goes way back. In 2006, prosecutors tried to charge Busta with weapons possession after a run-in with a random passerby. Billboard reported that authorities claimed Busta had a machete tucked away in his vehicle. The story sounded almost too wild to be true, but it didn't end there. In 2007, Busta found himself in hot water again. This time, he was arrested for allegedly roughing up a former driver over a money dispute. He eventually pled guilty to those charges and was sentenced to 3 years of probation, but that wasn't the last time his temper made headlines. By 2009, the New York Post revealed that Busta had to pay $75,000 to a fan who accused him of flying into a rage during a performance. The fan claimed that when he tried to leave the show early, disappointed that Fabulous didn't make an appearance, Busta went off, allegedly shouting, "I'm not good enough for you?" before hurling water bottles and instructing his bodyguard to deliver a punch. The incident left the fan shaken and Busta's reputation further tarnished. And Busta's hot-headed history doesn't stop there. Over the years, stories of his alleged outbursts have continued to pile up. While the most headline-grabbing incidents made their way into courtrooms or settlements, there are countless whispers and secondhand accounts from people claiming they've witnessed Busta lose his temper over the smallest slights. Some industry insiders say that behind closed doors, Busta's short fuse was well known. Stories of backstage blow-ups, heated arguments at video shoots, and even tense exchanges with fellow artists have circulated for years. Those who've worked with him closely have often described a man who could flip from calm to furious in seconds. The pattern has become hard to ignore. A dispute over money, a disagreement at a show, or even a minor personal insult has, according to several accounts, triggered fiery responses. Whether it's tossing objects, shouting matches, or the occasional shove, Busta's reputation for explosive confrontations has overshadowed much of his career. For many fans, it's hard to reconcile the charismatic performer they see on stage with the stories that continue to emerge. And while Busta has managed to keep most of these situations out of the public eye for long stretches, recent resurfaced allegations suggest that his fiery reputation hasn't cooled off over time. Given Busta's fiery temper, it's no shock he's been close with Diddy since the 90s. But beyond their shared outbursts, some allege they have another common thread, a preference for much younger men. And let's face it, Busta's behavior in light of the Diddy allegations raises more than a few eyebrows. When the accusations against Diddy first began surfacing, Busta was quick to tell fans to hold off on forming opinions. Why would he say that unless on some level he was subtly defending him? And when we're dealing with serious claims, allegedly involving multiple victims, some of them young, telling people to stay out of it doesn't exactly come across as neutral. If anything, it looks suspicious. Fast forward to the present, and things have completely unraveled for Diddy. Federal raids, lawsuits, an official indictment, the full weight of the scandal is here. Suddenly, Busta seems to be keeping his distance, acting as though he was never close to Diddy at all. The shift in tone is impossible to miss, leaving many wondering what Busta might be trying to avoid. Busta might be ducking the spotlight right now, but let's face it, he won't be able to sidestep this forever. Word on the street is that 50 Cent's upcoming Diddy documentary is about to drop some serious bombs, including calling out Busta by name. And if there's one thing we know about 50, it's that he never forgets. 50 Cent has been one of the few rappers who outright refused to party with Diddy, seeing through the shady antics that allegedly went on behind closed doors. But here's the thing. Just because 50 wasn't part of the crowd doesn't mean he wasn't paying close attention. He's always been a calculated player, and while he stayed out of the fray, he was watching, noting who said yes to Diddy's infamous invitations. And now, it looks like his time has finally come to blow the lid off everything. The word is that 50's Diddy documentary is shaping up to be the industry's worst nightmare. No one is safe. The rumors that have circulated for years about certain rappers' alleged freak-offs with Diddy are about to be laid bare. According to insiders, Busta's name is firmly on that list. While the documentary's exact release date is still under wraps, we know it's being produced by G-Unit Films and Television Inc. When it drops, it promises to send shockwaves through the industry, leaving no stone unturned. Generate my 13th chunk, ChatGPT said. What makes this even more intense is how long these whispers have been floating around. For years, there's been a quiet understanding in certain circles about who Diddy's favorites were at his infamous parties. While no one dared to speak out publicly, behind closed doors, the stories were well known. Now, with 50 at the helm, it seems these long-standing secrets are about to be put on full display. Sources close to the production have hinted that the documentary will feature never-before-seen footage, interviews, and testimonials from those who were there. If true, it could finally bring validation to the rumors that have been swirling for decades. What's more, the timing couldn't be worse for anyone trying to keep their past under wraps. With Busta's name reportedly attached to some of these events, it raises the stakes even higher. The anticipation is building as insiders suggest this project could shift the entire narrative around Diddy and his closest associates. For fans and critics alike, the question isn't just what the documentary will reveal, but how the named figures, Busta included, will respond when the truth is finally out there. Industry insiders are already bracing for the fallout. If this documentary delivers on what sources claim it contains, it won't just be a bombshell for Diddy's camp, it'll be a seismic shift for everyone involved. Executives, managers, artists, and promoters who once thrived on keeping these stories buried could find themselves scrambling to control the narrative. And let's not forget the public's role in all this. Social media has become the courtroom where fans and critics alike will pass judgment, dissecting every revelation as soon as it drops. Memes, think pieces, and commentary will spread like wildfire, ensuring that even those who try to deny the claims will have a much harder time staying in the shadows. For Busta, who has so far kept a relatively low profile compared to some of his peers, this might be the moment he's forced into the spotlight. Whether he chooses to address the claims or stay silent, the conversations about his alleged involvement are unlikely to fade away anytime soon. The pressure is mounting, and the clock is ticking for everyone named in 50's documentary. The documentary is set to hit Netflix and comes under the direction of Alex Stapleton, an Emmy-winning filmmaker and executive producer. With that kind of pedigree, this is shaping up to be a no-holds-barred, top-tier production. But here's the kicker. Insiders claim Busta already knows what's coming. Apparently, he's been making moves behind the scenes, even reportedly warning 50 to keep his name out of the final cut. The irony? That warning may have only motivated 50 to dig his heels in even deeper. If you know anything about 50 Cent, you know he doesn't back down when someone tells him to. On the contrary, the more pressure you apply, the more determined he gets. If Busta's name is indeed in the mix, it's highly unlikely that 50 will remove it. Which begs the question, what exactly is Busta so concerned about? If he has nothing to hide, why not let it roll off his back and carry on? The stakes are clearly high, and the speculation around Busta's involvement in this whole Diddy scandal only keeps growing. What do you think? Is Busta caught up in the drama, or is this just his name being unfairly tossed into the whirlwind? More importantly, will 50's documentary truly shake the music industry to its core?